y'all want these quarterbacks, y'all want these players, these NFL players to essentially work on commission. You got to want to earn it. You sign a contract, honor the contract. Well, how about the teams do that? How come we don't never talk about the teams who sign a guy? Poor Josh Rosen. Drafted first round, face of the franchise for 1 year. Got him up out of there. Cardinals didn't honor that contract. We were too busy riding on Josh Rosen and clowning him. No one said anything in regards to, hey, that's kind of really messy. Draft a guy, parade him around, make him the franchise, and he underperforms. I'm not sitting here saying Josh Rosen was good. Please believe. But he only got 1 year. And then he was let go. And decided his value was not worth it. It was not worth it. They were not willing to fulfill their end of that contract to financially pay him into the future. So how come that's okay? But when a player feels, hey man, I've out-earned this contract, I would like to renegotiate. I think I deserve more money. Hellfire and brimstone gets rained down upon these athletes. And it's a little peculiar to me how that works. Because when it comes to baseball, fully guaranteed. NBA, fully guaranteed. NHL, fully guaranteed. Only in this sport that makes more money than all of them. Somehow they're still hanging on to this archaic system of you gotta earn it. As we, have revenue of $25 billion. $25 billion. But you gotta earn it. Okay. So, which one of these QBs you think is going to sign? Who's going to take the bait? Because clearly they're offering money now because this is around. Let me come off the screen here for a sec. Because there was a great, I can't find the tweet. I don't think I have time to find the tweet, but there was a really informative breakdown of how, Josh Allen got his extension after year 3. That seems to be the way things are going in terms of giving those extensions out. But for some reason, Lamar had to play out his deal. Mahomes got his extension after year 3. So you look at that Mahomes. Now, that was fresh off a Super Bowl. Fresh off a Super Bowl, Mahomes gets his extension. Josh Allen wasn't off no Super Bowl. That was after only 1 year of Stephon Diggs. And he was able to go get his extension. Lamar, meanwhile, has to play out all 5 years. And if they would have did it after that 3rd year, when he was a year removed from being an MVP, and he had a good year after that MVP year, went 11-4 the Ravens did with him as a starter, what would have been the money then? Do you think the Ravens wish they could have had a do-over? It would have paid him his money then. Let me know. Because I think as much as, I've had people, I put a clip up from yesterday's live stream. And you can find that here on the channel if you missed yesterday's live stream, if you just want to hear that little cut, or the 3-hour extravaganza. It was pretty dope. But I think, when it comes right down to it, there was a lot of information that was put out there in regards to, well, you have to earn it. Well, he hasn't done enough. Well, Josh Allen, after year 3, are you trying to convince me he did enough? Is that really what we're trying to do? Because let's go ahead and see if we can pull this up, because I would love to know. Josh Allen, year 3, did he earn that extension? Let me move this over for y'all so y'all can see all of Josh. Here we go. Cool. All right, so year 3. Okay, so he had a statistically great year, but you see the jump. We all know that jump. The jump from, no Stephon Diggs to Stephon Diggs, right? So we see the jump, progression, 5-6, 10-6, although it was a rough 10-6, a lot of fumbles, a lot of just turnovers, just loose with the rock. The QBR was putrid. It was a lot going on there. And then he had the breakout year, which is the first year with Stephon Diggs. Can't deny that. You see the jump in percentage. That's a humongous jump. From 58 to 69, pause, that's a big jump. So a lot of this is Stephon Diggs aided, right? He got the bag off of that. Let's look at Mahomes. Mahomes year 3. This is after not even playing that first year, right? Again, fresh off for Super Bowl. After the 3rd year. Same thing. This is what happened. Okay? Good numbers. Not the 50 where he just took over the league by storm and it's been his league ever since. Not that, but still. Respectable numbers. I mean, 26 TDs to 5 picks. I think a lot of GMs would take that. 66% completion percentage. 4 Gs in passing. QBR was 77. QB rating 105. Like, it's some stuff here, right? Now let's go to Lamar. Year 3 now. So remember that. Year 3 for Lamar, which is after the MVP year. So 13-2 as a starter, 11-4 after year 3, 64%. What was Mahomes? 65%? Oh, okay. Okay. Less passing yards because he's throwing the tight ends. 26 TDs, only 9 picks. QBR, little dip from Mahomes, but QB rating, not that far off. But obviously, very much akin to Josh Allen, except for the big jump in touchdowns and yards because they smartly invested in his future by giving him a bona fide number 1 target, whereas the Ravens did it. So, Mahomes was able to get the extension. Josh Allen was able to get the extension. Lamar Jackson with these numbers, 11-4, 64%. For people who keep saying, he misses people wide open, he can't throw, this, that, and the third. And then they try to flip the narrative and say, oh, well, in playoff games, he stinks, which is another trash narrative. But, 26 TDs to only 9 interceptions. How come he didn't get offered that extension? And there were some clips that were pulled up online. And let me see here. Let's go here. There were some clips that were pulled up online in regards to, there's a thing you have to worry about when it comes to Lamar and his agent and da-da-da-da. Like, he has rarely, if ever, had an agent. It's been him and his mom. It worked in college. With the NFL rookie scale, there was no reason to really have an agent as a first-round pick because the contract is a contract. Like, there's been very little reason to need a agent in this day and age with so much of the wage scale locked in. Oh, we'll go to the comments real quick. Bring the Heat is here. What's up, Bring the Heat? He was definitely pulling up yesterday, part of the 3-hour extravaganza. I think Hurts will go first as he was a second rounder, and that will be a big argument. Yes, for sure. That's a good point there. That's a good point. With Jalen Hurts being a second rounder, his money ain't as long, as the rest of these guys as of yet. So will he be the first guy off the board? Because someone is going to take that money. And DeMaurice Smith really has to, if I said he should be on a group chat with all these guys, that remains to be seen if he's on that. But I think there needs to be a way where DeMaurice Smith, if he's really trying to hang on to his perch as the head of the NFLPA, he's got to talk to some of these guys and try to implore them to stand down and do not sign a contract until the whole Lamar thing gets worked out. So, young QBs, Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. Again, we talked about Lamar. Let's look at Joe Burrow. Is he entering year 3? Yeah, he's entering year 3. Well, actually, yeah. So he's already had, so last year was his year 3. So he actually is, he's eligible right now. Okay. So 12-4, only one more win than Lamar in his 3rd year. 68%, only a couple of percentage points higher in completion percentage, more yards. Well, he's got more talent around him, more TDs. See the last point, more TDs around him, more interceptions. QBR not that great. Lamar's QBR was better. And his rating was right around Lamar's. I would love to see Lamar with Jamar Chase. But anyway, it's just, So, and then Justin Herbert, who's been surrounded by talent. Might as well just go ahead and get Justin out the way. Justin Herbert, same deal. Year 3, 10-7. Worse record than Lamar, although more games. 68%, only a couple percentage points higher than Lamar. More yards, way more talent. Equal touchdowns. With all that talent, equal touchdowns. I wish Lamar would have had a running back who could catch like Austin Eckler or have a big target like Mike Williams or Keenan Allen. Less picks. QBR. And definitely a worse QB rating than Lamar. So all these QBs, and I guess for the sake of the argument, we'll go ahead and get Jalen Hurts in there. But I think, the fact of him being a second-round pick definitely changes the dynamic for him. I mean, these numbers are so inflated. These numbers are so ridiculous. 14-1. 66 and a half. We'll give him 67. We round up here. 3,700. 22 TDs. 6 picks. QBR. I mean, this is a ridiculous jump, dog. When you look at this here, that jumping in just the jump in QBR for one, and then the jump in QB rating right there, that's a huge jump. And then we just looking at, let me see here. And we got 3,700 yards in terms of passing. And then this isn't even including the rushing. And that's the thing I didn't do with Lamar. I didn't even bring up the rushing, but we all know what type of time he's on when it comes to that, right? So that is something I want to keep an eye on is these young QBs. What's going to happen with these young QBs? Who is going to take the bait and take a contract without waiting to see what happens with Lamar? Back to the comments. Lombardi Elite. Thank you for pulling up again. Why didn't the Ravens extend him after the 3rd year? That's a great question. I would love to know. I don't know if Tanya's in here today. She's our Ravens correspondent. But yeah, I would love to know. That's a great question because we see the pattern, right? Right, Lombardi Elite, we see the pattern. Everyone gets the deal, gets the extension after their 3rd year. What happened with Lamar after his 3rd year? Mahomes got his money. Josh Allen got his money. All these other QBs are at that 3rd year, and you see these conversations that are being had in terms of them getting their money. What happened in Baltimore? Now, you for sure know there's going to be a narrative. Well, see, since he didn't have an agent, they weren't able to negotiate. Like, well, no. It doesn't work that way. Him and Josh Allen were in the same draft class. Josh Allen got $150 million guaranteed. Again, this isn't rocket science. Oh, okay, he got 150. I think I'm on the same level, if not higher. All right, well, it's my turn. He signed before me. Now it's my turn. I want at least 155. 155. What's the problem? So that's a great question that, I haven't heard too much reporting around it. I will dig into that myself independently and see if I could unearth some tea on that myself, because that's what I came away with this morning when I was looking up and researching for today's stream. It's like, well, hold up. If all these players are signing after the 3rd year, how the hell Lamar get to his 5th year with no extension? Why are we in this franchise tag situation in the first place? Why are we even here? It's like the existential question. Like, why are we even here? Like, why are we even here with Lamar in his 5th year with no extension when Josh Allen, who made the huge jump with the addition of Stephon Diggs, and Lamar, off of a ridiculously impressive MVP season, had a really good follow-up season to that, and he couldn't get the extension? He gave you 2 good years, one enormous year, and then another really good year. No extension. Josh Allen gave you a bad first year, a solid second year. You gave him Stephon Diggs, and he had a great year, and you extended him. The math is not mathing to me. Back to the comments. Bring the heat. I feel like sometimes these owners try to stiff guys who do not have an agent. Yes. Well, let's just start there. Yes, a definitive yes to that answer. The NFL and the owners like to stiff anyone who goes anti-establishment. Period. But for sure, we've seen it. We've seen it with guys like Russell Okung, Walter Jones, Roquan Smith. Like the Bears wanted no parts of Roquan Smith. No parts. Bears wanted nothing to do with Roquan Smith. He wanted his deal. They offered him a below market value deal. If the deal he would have took, and I know it's Roquan Smith and it's the Bears and a lot of people might not care, but if Roquan Smith would have just accepted what the Bears were offering in their take it or leave it type deal, it would have been one of the worst contracts, not even by position, just by player level in this market of this generation. It would have been one of the worst deals ever for a player of his size, strength, speed, skill set, and talent. It would have been one of the worst. He didn't have no agent. It didn't take him having an agent to realize, I'm not signing this. Why would I sign this? Why is there the assumption that you need an agent to proofread these contracts? We see all the time these guys end up signing horrible contracts. These guys have agents who sign these horrible contracts. Kyler Murray signed that contract and then learned from the internet that there's a COD clause in it. He had an agent. So why is this thing of, well, if you got an agent, it makes things so much easier? Does it though? When you don't know that there's a COD clause in your own contract, but you already signed it, and you had an agent, and I'm sure lawyers and managers on top of that. Now tell me why Lamar should have one. Whatever, man. I don't understand it. But anyway, these young QBs, who's going to take the bait? I think Bring the Heat makes a great point that Jalen Hurts was a second rounder, so that might take him out the mix because that bread going to hit a lot different for him as opposed to Burrow and Justin Herbert. So I think that's something we need to keep an eye on. So we'll take a look at that.